Michelle O'Neill, who unfortunately can't be here today. But I'm here to say that the Australian Union movement is absolutely appalled at the military coup in Myanmar. We have watched in horror at the violent crackdown, the arrests and killings of the brave people taking a stand against military rule. So I'm standing here today in solidarity with the courageous working people taking action in Myanmar, who are going on strike, who are taking to the streets to reject the military takeover of their country and demanding that democracy be restored. Workers are at the forefront of the civil disobedience movement. The transport sector, the energy sector, the public sector, the banking sector, and more have been brought to a standstill by brave workers taking strike action to cripple this military regime. But the military is retaliating. They've declared 16 trade unions and labour organisations illegal. They've arrested dozens of trade union leaders and are raiding the homes of unionists, and warrants have been issued for the arrests of union leaders, many of whom are now in hiding. Workers have been dismissed for taking part in the CDM and have had their wages withheld or have been forced to return to work. The military has been forcing workers out of their government accommodation. So workers in Myanmar, apart from being faced by the daily brutality of the military regime, are now facing the problem of how to feed their families. And yet, they persevere. They continue to organise, resist and participate in the CDM. They know they have to win this fight and win their country back. And the Australian trade union movement and the trade union movement around the world will do everything in our power to support the people of Myanmar to stop this military coup from succeeding. I'm here today to call on the Morrison government to make this same commitment. It's time that the Australian government stepped up. We need the Morrison government to take strong action to support the people of Myanmar and stop this coup. Governments around the world are taking this action. They're cutting off support to the military. They're implementing sanctions. And it's the money from big business, oil and gas in particular, that is sustaining this military regime. And senior military figures continue to face impunity. The US and UK governments have implemented sanctions against military figures and military-owned businesses. But what has the Australian government done? We finally suspended military-to-military cooperation, a month after many other countries had done so. But we've not taken any action to stop the flow of money from Australia to the Myanmar military. So the Morrison government needs to urgently support the people of Myanmar and support a return to democracy by implementing sanctions against the military leaders and their business interests. All Australian businesses must suspend their business activities immediately and their links with the regime. Unfortunately, the people of Myanmar have experienced military coups before. They've experienced a military junta crushing democratic movements, banning trade unions, and refusing to recognise democratically elected governments. But the Burmese people have bravely resisted and overcome military rule, and we know they will again. We've been in contact with trade union leaders in Myanmar, and something that one of the leaders said really stuck with me. They said, this is different from 1988 because we have everyone together. Workers, students, youth, the elderly, communities, political parties, ethnic organisations. Everyone is united in supporting the CDM and removing the military regime. And as trade unionists, we know that we are more powerful together. And the people of Myanmar are demonstrating just how powerful they are. We know that the people united will never be defeated. So our job here is to keep building the movement. We have to keep building the solidarity movement. We have to pressure the Morrison government to take action and show the people of Myanmar that we are with them, shoulder to shoulder, in their struggle for democracy. And finally, to the people of Myanmar, on behalf of the Australian Trade Union Movement, I say this: we are with you. We join you in saying never again to military rule, and we won't stop until you win your country back. Solidarity.